Hey guys, welcome back to my corner of the internet. My name is Loretta and today I have some fun books to show you guys today. My book selection kind of gravitates a little bit towards more like self-help, and then I also love a good like mystery suspense type book. So if you're into that, go ahead and keep on watching and I'll show you some of my favorites. So the first book I have is more of a mindfulness, spiritual self-help book. And that is Sacred Powers by David G. I hope I'm saying that correctly and don't look like a total dork right now. But basically, God, this book was so great. It's Sacred Powers, the 5 Secrets to Awakening Transformation. So if you're into this kind of thing, I think this is one of the top books in my heart. So I'm going to go ahead and read you some stuff from the back, just because it'll probably give a better description than I can. So basically, the 5 secrets are his divine principles. So the divine principle of one, the divine principle of awareness, the divine principle of rebirth, the divine principle of infinite flow, and the divine principle of inner fire. Each step on the path will unfold eternal truths to guide you in a lifelong journey of clarity and connection, expansion and abundance, love and happiness, courage and confidence, and passion and purpose. This moment is a defining moment. This moment is the moment to awaken your sacred powers, and this is the time to manifest your dream life. And I will say, I thought that David G did a beautiful job with writing this book. I felt like you were kind of like just really having like a one-on-one conversation with him. He was just so great at also like showing you his vulnerable side, making you more comfortable. And I know that sounds really weird, but if you read the book, I promise you will understand. And I really liked the fact that there were little exercises in the book. There's parts in the book where he'll ask you to stop reading and like he'll give you something to meditate on, and then you do that and then you keep reading. I don't know, I just thought it was really awesome, and it brought so much clarity into my everyday and really helped me think about things in a different way. I just like cannot say enough good stuff about this book. So if you're into self-help in that spiritual transformational way that I'm totally all over, then you have to read this book. My 2 next books, I actually don't have. I have let my mom borrow one and I gave my friend the other book, but I think they are too important to skip over. The first book is The 4 Agreements. And that book to me, if you're going to start, if you're kind of wondering like where to start with a spiritual journey and kind of being more connected with your mind and your life, tapping into that and kind of owning it a little bit more, I think The 4 Agreements is a great place to start. I've heard a lot of people already mention this book, but I thought that I would also mention it because it is just one of those that you have to read. If you're kind of in a point where you kind of know where you're at in your journey, I don't think that it's that great of a book to read. It really is, at least in my opinion, a very like beginner book, something where you want to start to kind of open your mind up to a non-traditional way of thinking about your life. So I highly recommend that. Another book is also one that gets mentioned all too often, but I could not mention it here for the same reason I couldn't skip The 4 Agreements, and that is The Alchemist. One of my all-time favorite books. I will probably read it to my children. It is just one of those books that just makes you feel really good when you're finished, and it's one that I couldn't put down. I have goosebumps thinking about it. It was just really that book that really opened my mind to manifestation and creating a life that you want and being content with the life that you've been given. So if you haven't read that book, I don't know what you're doing. It was one of those books for me that I was just kind of like, why read it? I don't know, I just kind of felt like it was a moot point, like I didn't need to read it. I'm not really like a storybook kind of person unless it's like a suspense kind of thing, so it didn't really appeal to me, but I'm so glad that I bought it and read it, and I have literally given it to 2 other people as gifts. And the book that I had, I gave it to my friend because she really needed it, and it's one of those books that I feel is always a great gift. So if you haven't read The Alchemist, please do yourself a favor and do that. Another self-help book that I've had for a really long time and I've never seen anyone talk about is The Forgiveness Formula. I am a gal who is very good at holding grudges, or at least used to be. I try very hard not to be that way anymore, but your girl used to be able to hold a pretty good grudge. So the Forgiveness Formula really is just as silly as it may sound. It is a step-by-step book in order to help you think about kind of even the mind frame of some of the people that you're trying to forgive. I don't know, it's just kind of like therapy in a book. It says the forgiveness formula, how to let go of your pain and move on with life. And it's just one of those books that I feel like is a really great tool if you're a person who needs to forgive people. So just to mention, I haven't read it in a really long time, but I've kept it in my arsenal because I do remember at the time I needed it, it served its purpose. So if this is speaking to you, I would pick it up. It's by Kathleen Griffin. So I just have 2 other books here, some that I recently finished that I thought were really great. This one is more of that like suspense book, and that is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Gillian, right? Gillian, not Gilligan. Gillian Flynn. This was such a terrible book, but like not in the way that like that came out. This was just one of those books that made me sad and just really made me feel for the main character in the book. It was quite depressing. So if you're into that, highly recommend. No, but it just really, it was a page turner, but it was one, I'm the kind of person that likes to read before I go to bed. This one was kind of a difficult book for me to read before bed just because it's pretty dark. But nonetheless, if you're into the dark books, this was a really great one. Gillian Flynn, she has a lot of great books if you like the suspense genre. She is the author of Gone Girl, which is a great book as well. So if you're into that, I would highly recommend. I don't know, she's one of those authors that really just puts you in the book, and I didn't really see the ending coming at all. So my next book recommendation isn't really a book, but I thought I would mention it just because it's just a huge part of my everyday, but it's journaling. So a lot of my girlfriends, whenever they start reaching out to me about journaling, because I'm an avid journaler, you guys, so beneficial just to really get all your thoughts on paper. And like, you would be surprised sometimes at some of the things that you'll read yourself right. So anyways, what I always recommend to a friend that doesn't know how to start is getting one of these guided journals. So this one is Burn After Writing, and I just got this one. So basically every morning I'll just sit down after I say a prayer or meditate, and I will just write in the journal. It gives you prompts like this one. It says the single biggest waste of energy in my life right now, and then you would write it in. People I'd like to punch in the face, and then you just write it in. It's just a really great way, I feel like, to get your thoughts on paper, get them organized. So I have this, and then I also have my regular journal, and this is the one where I write in it every night. I hope you didn't see what I just wrote. This is extremely personal to me. I would guard this baby with my life. So if you're not journaling, why aren't you journaling? So there you have it, guys. Those are just some of my book recommendations. I would love to hear some of your book recommendations. So if you have a great one, leave it in the comments. I love exploring and getting my hands on a new book. So if you have one that you absolutely love, please let me know. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It goes a long way. It helps me see which videos of mine that you're liking. And I'm so stoked to have filmed another video for you guys. So that's going to be it for me today. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.